Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will, and I'm joined by my co-host here, the Grease. Say hello, Grease.
What's up, everybody? Well, hang on real quick. First things first.
You can never just go straight into something. You always
Well,
got to hijack yourself and short circuit everything.
I'm going straight into something.
Do it. You do it.
You went live today on our podcast channel, Podcask YouTube channel, and you told everybody I had a daggum stomach bug. I filed a complaint with HIPAA.
I'm not your doctor. HIPAA's not a person or an entity.
Well, I just know that you're not supposed to share my medical information with people.
I'm going to be really honest with everyone. We were on a virtual barn night last night, Grease, and you shared way too much personal information with a lot of people.
What are you talking about?
You were going into details of what that stomach bug entailed.
Well, no, I had a simple question, and that was, is a bidet worth it? Because I would have to say the past 48 hours, I have now considered the option.
Well, I wasn't even on there for that part, so I can't speak to those questions that you had, but I do know that what I said in my live video was not a violation of anyone's privacy because you went above and beyond last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. That's fair. I also want to just in full transparent because I'm like in this weird mood of being transparent right now. Full transparency. I just want everybody to know. You know what my password is to get into my computer?
Can I guess?
Yes.
Will has eczema.
That's a great password. No,
Wait.
1, 2, 3, 4 though at the end.
I would not say that because that's a HIPAA violation.
Capital W.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Here's what I would. Here's what it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, it's very simple. Left or right, one, bam, and you're done. And I had to restart and we were a little bit late on starting this taping because I could not hear anybody and had to do a restart on my computer. And I literally just threw up praise hands for a second. I was just like, Lord, thank you for flash drives, for flash memory. Because do you remember how long it used to take to restart your daggum computers? Anyway,
Quite a while.
I'm filled with blessings today, guys, and I love it. My biggest blessing today is daggum ADHD whiskey beer.
I was going to say, hopefully you've got that rant out of your system because we're doing another podcast live here on our YouTube channel. Welcome everyone that's watching. We've got quite the audience tonight, and we have yours truly and Grease as per usual, but we also have our buddy Matt. Grease calls you Matt Pryor. Your name is Matt Porter, ADHD whiskey. We had some fun with you on our Drinking With show, and we drank with you for a long time. And in the at the tail end of that lovely evening of drinking with you virtually, at some point we're like, let's do the show. And the next morning we were all like, hey, we all remember that you're going to be on the podcast soon, right? Like, I didn't just dream that later. And here you are.
Yeah, I got you guys sloppy drunk, and I invited myself on your podcast. One of the best podcasts on the planet.
Oh man, keep talking.
And I just need then the next,
that's all he's got.
The next morning, I was the texter reminding you that you had said yes.
Right. Well, our conversation right after, we got off the live stream after going live for 3 solid hours and us just pounding whiskey, which was fabulous. I highly recommend it. But we stayed online afterwards for 2 more hours. After you go offline in this StreamYard software, you could just still kind of just hang out and talk. And we were there until 1 a.m. my time, which was 2 a.m. your time. Thankfully, you ended up doing the dishes because your wife, smart. If you did not do the dishes and your wife woke up the next morning, I don't know if you would be here right now.
And then one of my children needed Tylenol, and I couldn't find. Okay, your parents, you know that it's hard to find a syringe sometimes or a little cup with the measurements on it. So I was blending Bardstown product earlier that day. So I brought it down and they go beaker.
I think that's fine.
I mean, it's honestly probably more precise milliliters than what's on the side of those plastic syringes they give you.
Will,
it was a 3 a.m. beaker visit, and I was like, I got it.
Will, we need, so for our podcast audience, we need to set this up a little bit better because we just
That's what I was
right on
that's
in.
literally what I was trying to do.
Well,
I was literally trying to do that. And then you went into bidet talk. And
you're a producer. I need you to do that. I'm going
all right. So we have ADHD Whiskey, Matt Porter, here with us tonight. And he's a good friend. We've gotten to know him intimately over the past couple of weeks, and we're having fun having him on the show. And what we're doing, if you're listening later, is we're actually live right now on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube right now and you aren't a subscriber to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe, ring the bell, because we've been doing a lot of these lives and it's a lot of fun. If you're listening, go to youtube.com/the podcast, subscribe. You're going to be able to see this video because it's going to be still up there, barring like not some terrible thing Grease says in an hour. But yeah, so what we're going to do tonight, I had this idea and I thought it would be called Armchair Master Distillers. And so we're going to go around the horn, and I told everyone to have 2 kind of like fantasy bourbon or whiskey products that they think a distillery should make, but is not currently an offering by that distillery. So I think the hypothetical I threw out there for the group, and now, so this one's off the table. I said, like, say Buffalo Trace should make a 36-year Thomas H. Handy, and here's why, and here's what it would be like. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to see what kind of creativity we can come up with this group. And I told everyone to have 2 of them ready. And by everyone, I mean, I told Grease and Matt to have 2 ready, and we'll go around the horn, each going through one, and we'll go from there.
Wait. Okay. One, while I was chugging barrel proof whiskey, by the way, the first sip of whiskey that I've had since being on the stomach bug for the past 2.5 days.
Wait, you had a stomach bug?
Well, you've already shared that with everybody, Will.
I mean, there's a lot more people on here than were on my live earlier. So I'm just going to have to say,
I'm just verifying the HIPAA situation that you have.
Okay.
And I don't know how that's going to hit. I feel like that's going to hit pretty dadgum good because there's nothing. I mean, dude, when that whiskey goes down in the stomach, there's nothing there to party with it right now, except just bad. I don't know. It wasn't bad decisions. It wasn't my decision. It's just a bad situation. Anyway, and I didn't hear. Did you tell people when you set up Matt that he's like the greatest whiskey taster of all time?
I haven't gotten to that yet.
Okay, well, we'll get to it.
Yeah, Matt is the world's top whiskey taster, declared world's top whiskey taster, and
he's got a really big check behind him.
That's right.
That proves it. I don't know if that proves it, but I mean, I think it looks great. Okay,
it's a bigger check than I have.
The other thing. Yeah. So the other thing is I didn't know we needed 2.
I specifically said have 2 ready.
Okay, so if I'm a master distiller, okay, all right. Well, I mean,
here's what we'll do.
Here's the deal. I think about that all the time. I've got things ready.
Everyone will go once, and that should give you time to think about it. By the time it gets back to you, right?
Well, I mean, I've got my 2.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Well, then why did you make a big deal about it?
Well, because I just didn't know the rules. I didn't know we were going 2 for Tuesday over here.
Do you want me to read the text from earlier, or are we?
No, I don't.
Like, do you believe me, or
no, I know there's always you always have a daggone paper trail. Every time we get in an argument, you're like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Shoot!"
It's literally says, "Come up with 2 products you think should be made / offered, but currently aren't / may never be." I don't know how you missed it was like the lead off word of the pitch.
Well, I typically skip to the middle. I go to the body. I hate theses or whatever they are.
Okay. So we're going to let our distinguished guest go first on this because I feel like he gets the concept. Yeah. And if anyone watched our live on his channel, we were terrible at something called the Newlywed Game. It was 2 hours in by the time we started playing. So we have a little bit of cushion there with the liability that came along with the liquor that we were drinking. But Grease, I'm going to let Matt go first, if that's cool with you, and see how he can handle the rules of the armchair distiller game.
I feel like I read your text properly. I read it. I thought about it, and my first idea was probably the best. A 35-year-old Thomas H. Handy. Because 36 is too much. I think 35 would be great.
Okay. Why? So you think Buffalo's Trace should make a 35-year-old Thomas H. Handy?
No, that was a joke.
Well, okay. Oh, okay.
It was funny too. I laughed.
It was a good one. It was. I got a good chuckle out of it.
We're gonna get serious though, because I do have two, and these are okay. They're pretty good. Let me check my notes.
All right. So are we all doing one first, or are we just throwing out our two?
I explained that too. Just pay attention.
I didn't listen to that part.
Okay. Just use one of these right now.
Okay.
We'll go around. This is the newlywed game. We're playing the newlywed game right now.
Yeah.
Will, it's my turn. Remember you called on me?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. And this is okay. This is a quick question. How familiar? Okay. If I ask how familiar, Grease will talk forever. Are you familiar, yes or no, with jelly beans?
Yes.
I mean, yes. I mean, I don't like the ones that, could throw a curveball at you.
Okay. Well, just stop right there. Jelly Bellies. They're delicious. They're flavored in all different flavors. They're the
correct.
Best. They also make a product called Belly Flops, which are like they're problem beans. The beans that came out of the chute a little bit funky. They're like miscolored or misshapen, or the flavor didn't add up right. And they put them into a bag called Belly Flops, and they sell them at stores like Dollar Tree. And then you buy them, and you're like, they're funky, they're different, but we don't care. If I were a master distiller, a CEO in charge of a distillery, Old Charter maybe, I would release barrel flops, the weirdest, funkiest barrels that we pick that do not meet our flavor profile, and I'd put them in a weird shaped bottle that no one's ever seen before, and it's called a barrel flop, because not everybody has chances at barrel picks. But if barrel flops hit the market, it's like, what could it possibly be? You'll never know until you buy it.
So it's got to be a single barrel product. Obviously, it's not like a blend that they're creating this flavor profile. Do you have a specific? Say that again.
That's just called a bad blender.
Right. Yeah. That's called the Grease. Do you have a specific distillery in mind that you'd like to see release this?
Oh, I don't care. Probably
all of them.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody takes the bait and runs with it, sure.
And you'll just let them have it. That one's on you.
Yeah, for sure. But barrel flops. It's catchy.
It's a great idea.
That's dumb. Nobody's gonna want it.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody's gonna want that.
No. How many times do you get a single barrel pick to Matt's? It's almost capitalizing on the single barrel picks that people go, oh, I love this. It's off profile. Because then the distillery is like, these are our barrel flops because it's off profile, but we're releasing it as a single barrel.
Okay, so you're saying it could be off profile, but it's still good? Because I'm sitting here thinking like, don't tread on me,
No, Grease, you didn't even listen to his Jelly belly flops are delicious. They're still Jelly Bellies. They aren't horrible. It's not like you're only getting the ones that are like the Harry Potter, like booger flavored ones. The belly flops are still like cherry, pina colada, butter popcorn. They just like they didn't pass quality control as far as the standard. Like Jelly Bellies have to have that perfect shape. They have to have the sheen to it. Like everything has to add up to pass muster to go into the pack.
I did not know that Jelly Belly had such high standards.
It's cool because Matt actually just described that in his pitch for barrel flops.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean,
this is going exactly as I expected, and I love it.
That's fine. Am I next?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the MSRP on a barrel flop?
Can I interrupt really, really, really quick? I'm so sorry. To build on my argument, the Grease's idea is so stupid, and nobody would ever go for it. Matter of fact,
are you talking about like just
Matter of fact, skip your first one. Go right to your second one. Your first one's no good.
It was pretty. I felt it. It felt right.
You made me cry a tear with your.
Well, okay. I'm master distiller. I am going. Is a master distiller? Can he have like influences on government? I feel like he does or she does. Okay. First act of master distiller, daggum 2021 armchair or whatever you called it. Okay, I'm gonna make shipping whiskey daggum legal.
This literally has nothing to do with a product. You're failing at the game.
Okay,
I like his idea though. It's a good idea.
It's a great idea. It has nothing to do with the game we're playing.
Okay, then I guess I'll bring back Big Red 12, Elijah Craig. Is that?
I don't know why I try.
No, that's a good one. I mean, that's a logical one. Like, let's just water down these ABC barrel proofs. Nobody likes barrel proof anyway. Okay. You water them down, you put them in the Big Red 12 bottle again, and let's make this thing dadgum good again. Those Elijah Craig small batches, okay. You get a few good ones from time to time, but they're not all Big Red 12s, what they used to be. Big Red 12, there's this daggum sweet spot in Heaven Hill Juice, bro.
Grease, I sent you the instructions for this game.
Is that not in that? If I'm the master distiller, I can literally bring back Elijah Craig's small batch 12-year.
It says come up with 2 products. Like the entire concept is to be creative. And you're literally just saying, I'm just going to restart something that's discontinued.
Well, I came up with free shipping.
This is why we can't have nice things. You won't play along.
I came up.
This is why we're running out of content.
I don't think we're running out. I think we just started. According to our YouTube channel, we just started. We're getting fired up.
You know what?
Sorry, Will. What's your grand idea?
Let Will pay for shipping. How about that?
That's the new product. Is I'm all-time shipper. It's like all-time QB when you're playing football as a kid.
You look like a shipper.
I don't even know what that means.
Arr.
That's a pirate. That's a pirate who's on a ship.
I've seen your bottle shipping skills. I mean, not that I'm going to like let people know that you shipped something like that, but I've seen it and it's subpar. Subpar. You need me. You need distilleries to actually ship stuff so you don't have to.
What are you talking about?
You're not a good shipper.
Okay, shut up, Hammers. My product idea is I want to see more like things that have the name Buffalo Trace. Like Buffalo Trace has a ton of products. They have, the E.H. Taylor line. They've got Sazerac. They've got anything. Weller. There's a lot of variation within their wheelhouse, but there's only one product that's Buffalo Trace, and it's their standard 90 proof, unage stated, but a higher age for a standard release, kind of 7 to 8 year range. I want to see like Buffalo Trace Select or like Buffalo Trace Antique and do like bump up the proof a little bit, 101 to 107 proof, and add an age statement to it. So maybe do a 10-year 107 proof that is Buffalo Trace. I think that'd be really cool. It would have a variation of the theme on the bottle, but it's still labeled clearly Buffalo Trace to try to build a little bit more within that name, because it's a great name, and I like the look of the standard Buffalo Trace bottle, and I like the product. I like drinking just Buffalo Trace straight. I'd like to have something like Buffalo Trace Select. Go ahead, Matt.
You're the guy that wants another Weller product this year too. People can't find Buffalo Trace as it is. Let's have Buffalo Trace make more stuff people can't find.
Well, I think they're making Buffalo Trace, a lot of Buffalo Trace. I can go get Buffalo Trace.
Look, we've got about 4 years, 4 or 5 years until we start seeing a lot more of that Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, for sure.
Blanton's is probably 4 years away because typically it's 6 years. Buffalo Trace saunters on up to 8 and Eagle Rare's 10. So we got a little bit longer to wait on those guys. But I don't know.
All right. Well, I thought I had a good idea.
No, that's a great idea. completely into that. Like 100. It's essentially,
It's kind of the concept of Weller and Weller Antique, what was for a long time, but this would be a non-weeded mash bill with their standard, flagship mash bill 1 and go from there.
Would you call it old Buffalo Antique?
I just said I'd call it Buffalo Trace. Here's the problem. I thought about this. I would call it like Buffalo Trace Select because Buffalo Trace Antique would be confusing with the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. And so you'd have to differentiate that because you already have something that's called Buffalo Trace Antique, even though the whiskeys within that are not called Buffalo Trace, which maybe there's a missed opportunity there too. You could have a Buffalo Trace bottle in the antique collection.
Have you thought about doing that boiling technique that takes up the proof and just do it yourself? Have you thought about doing that or not?
I keep waiting for you to do it and successfully do it first, Grease, before I try it because I'm not as good of a scientician as you.
Yeah, I attempted to do it with a WLW BTAC last year because I wanted it to be the hazmat version.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to proof it up a little bit and it didn't work.
I
left it overnight and I came back and somebody drank it all.
I love that you argued with me saying that we weren't running out of content, but yet you literally just pulled up a gag you played. And Kevin Hasselwander, the podcast historian, is watching. Was that first year, Kevin? Was Grease boiling whiskey to raise the proof? Was that year 1?
It's a technique. I just haven't perfected it.
Yeah.
I haven't perfected it.
All right. Well, this was a fun game in my head. Maybe we should quit while we're ahead.
That was round 1. Can't wait for round 2.
Matt, what do you got?
What? Pardon? Oh, what do I got? I've got another great idea, come to find out. So, Will, I like your idea of Buffalo Trace having more products, but I meet you at your idea face to face, and I slap it right in its idea. And I say to you, less products. How about one product?
Just a big old batch.
No, wrong again. See, curveball, knuckleball even. It's actually not one product. It's all of their products, but it's sold in a tube that just says Buffalo Trace Distillery Whiskey. You buy the tube. You don't know what's inside of it. It's sealed with a tack strip. It just says Buffalo Trace. On the side of it, it's like a pack of baseball cards. It tells you your odds of getting specific bottles inside that tube. It's like a pack of Upper Deck. Every Buffalo Trace product is $40. You could get Eagle Rare, double, triple, quadruple rare in there, and it would be very rare, and it would say so on the side of the case. It's like it says it's a whiskey. You're buying alcohol. It's one SKU. It's just Buffalo Trace whiskey. Inside of it, though, is a mystery, and you open it up like a child looking for a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card, or an adult child, and you are so excited to find out you got benchmark top floor.
We call them man childs.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's what I would do if I were to strike oil.
I see your idea, and I meet you face to face and slap you twice and say, one, I don't think that they can do that because of labeling laws. They have to describe, I guess everything would have to be non-age stated, but the proof is where they're going to get you, because I don't think you can just have a non-proof. You have to state it.
It will be stated on the bottle inside the tube.
But you can't open the tube. I think that defeats the purpose of labeling laws. You're supposed to be able to purchase by reading the label.
Can we just all admit that this is a gray area, and I freaking love this idea?
It's a decent idea. However, if you think that people are camping out for stuff now, imagine the lines where it's like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, hoping they get a dadgum golden ticket, that they're waiting in line to only spend, according to you, $40 on a product, and you're having to go one per.
All right.
One per.
But no, listen. If every single Buffalo Trace product out there is in the same tube, these stores are going to get shipments and shipments of these tubes, and no one's going to be camping out for them. And flippers, this is called the flip flop because the flippers are flopping. They can't afford to buy all the tubes and then hope that they get something that they can resell. They'll fail.
Well, I do like sticking it to the flippers, but I do think more people end up camping out because of the intrigue. Because then it becomes an actual game.
Well, then
and when something becomes an actual game, more people get involved.
Well, then let's have some fun. And
I mean, I'm having fun. Hey,
Yeah,
can you block
I do know some
Thrasher? And why am I the Debbie Downer of the group? Unreal. Get rid of them.
No, Thrasher's a good guy, and he's totally correct.
I doubt it. I doubt he's a good guy.
I do know that some of my friends weren't really into baseball cards, but they would buy the packs just to see if they could get a good card that I would buy off of them.
Right.
So I feel like that's going to be the case. I love
that. That was my
Matt,
point. I wasn't trying to be Debbie Downer. I was just trying to bring up that people get involved with mystery. It's basically like watching Cold Case Files, but the bourbon version.
Can you imagine all the pictures people post now of their collections? Like, it's like an entire room. It's like it's all ancient age and benchmark. Like, not even the good benchmark. It's because the odds is like that's what you're gonna get. But occasionally, you just get surprised and you're like, now I can stop drinking ancient age for a day.
I mean, it's a hilarious concept. And I also love the people that are taking the crotch shots of a blank tube. Like, look who hit it big today. Walked into the store, they had a couple blank tubes. Let's see what we got.
I'm seeing an issue, however, not an issue, not really. You know how like when the Chiefs didn't win the Super Bowl, right? And they've got all these T-shirts pre-made ready to rock, right? Uh-huh. And then like those end up getting shipped off to other countries, I feel like ancient age benchmark might get in the wrong hands, of some people in other countries.
You keep saying, like we know where you're going. I honestly don't want to assume where you're going right now.
I know. I just envision these kids with these Kansas City Chiefs shirts on.
It has nothing to do with what? This isn't even a good analogy because you still have to purchase the bottle. And
I know,
you
but
have to
you don't want
it to find out.
You don't want it, so you throw it away, and people are just like, We got all this benchmark. What are we doing with it?
Kevin does have a point. He says the YouTube channels that are like the kids opening the toys.
Unboxing. I was just going to say that.
It's unboxing the whiskey tube.
Yeah. You're like, son of a.
So when you open the tube, do you immediately know what it is, or do you have to like pop the cork? Because that could also throw off flippers. Like if it's underneath, if it's inside somehow.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you're saying. You'd have to open the tube to see what it is. Or the cork, like nobody's going to want a bottle that the only thing that reveals it is inside the bottle.
Well, no, but that's a double security feature against flippers because then it's like, it's open now.
Dude, do you know how quick we get x-ray vision? Like somebody, dude, if I know anything about the whiskey community, dude,
they can band together.
If there's a way to scam something, we're going to figure it out real quick.
They're all in the same bottle, though. The only thing different is the labeling. So they all look like an antique collection bottle, same wine-shaped bottle, just different labeling. Because otherwise people would put it through. They bring them to the airport and like ask for if they could get kind of behind the machine, taking a peek, bring it to the hospital. My wife's an X-ray tech. Boom! All of a sudden, richest man on the planet. All the BTAC.
It's Bubble Bath Bourbon says, I spent $500 for this vintage tube from 2021. Damn, another benchmark.
No, like we're saying they would all be $40.
They're all the same price.
Every tube, that's what $40.
He's talking about in the future. Someone's like, I got one from 2021. Could be a William LaRue.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got to follow along. Okay. Sorry, you need to drink some more. Okay, so that was your second. So now it is Grease's turn for round 2.
Well, I mean, so originally I was going to say I would love to see, the B-Tax being able to do single barrel versions of, but that's not. I don't think that's. I missed the fact that we had to create something new. I missed a lot of things.
I would give that more than literally what you said earlier.
Right. Well, I would just like to see, like, I don't know, like we have all these like wine and honey finished barrels and all this other stuff. Like, why don't we just do like blackberries and raspberries? I like blackberries and raspberries. Can you finish it in that? Why not? I basically want to turn whiskey into daggum vodka, Will.
Okay. That's
as far as just the flavor offerings.
Sure.
Because if you saunter on into vodka and you're like, oh, man, these guys got their crap together. We just lost Will.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
He's gone. We can still hear him though. It's great. But yeah, I don't know. That feels right. I feel like the vodka market, they've got something figured out with the flavors. I mean, we did it with the peanut butter, which was fine. By the way, have you ever mixed Minishevitz wine with Screwball?
I heard you talk about it, and I'm only allowed to drink so much at home without getting into trouble. So if I start mixing peanut butter whiskey with wine, there might be an issue. But I'll do it late one night for sure.
Yeah. I do. Oh, there we go. Will's back
I'm
again. Back. That's incredible. That do you do the whole like chalk line on the bottles, just so that like how much you've used, and then fill it up with sweet tea?
No, I was purchased a breathalyzer at one point after a really skittish live stream went off the rails a little bit one night.
Like last week, like a week and a half ago.
Wait, hang on. So you do a breathalyzer casually just to make sure where you're at?
Sometimes. I lost it though.
That's good. That's convenient.
Grease loses it often.
Yeah. Some say I never found it.
So that you just want fruit flavored bourbon, Grease?
Yeah, or like be fun with it, like actually like put the fruit in the bottle.
Okay.
Like
a floater.
Right.
Yeah, it'd definitely be a different category. Who do you want to do this? Like, which distillery do you want this to come from?
Oh, man, one that won't get in too much trouble because they're just off the rails half the time anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, High West is a little funky.
Okay.
I could see High West getting involved in that. The altitude out there, you know what I mean? Like they do it. They'd be the ones to do it.
Yeah.
Dude, you might bring in a lot of new people into the whiskey game if you did that.
Yeah, like someone brings this up that says like apple pie moonshine, also like the old smoky line that they have the pickles, they have I think they have cherries and strawberries, all sorts of stuff. You can go buy that.
Yeah. Raspberry whiskey would be like risky.
Yeah, and Bird Dog as well, as Tarak points out. I think they have raspberry or blackberry. I think they have blackberry bourbon.
I heard that's good.
Bourbon.
Blackberry, that feels right. I've had blackberry preserves at Loveless, and they're just the greatest things ever. I just feel like I want to put whiskey on that.
My final one is I want Booker's Boo Rye. I want them to take Booker's Rye and Booker's Bourbon and marry them for a limited release. I want it to be Booker's Boo Rye.
I'm into that.
That's it.
So
that's just the extent of it.
Do you know that
it would be delicious?
Do you know that Boo Rye is moving to in-state only in Utah?
Yeah. Well, they announced last year it was no longer going to be shipped out. Basically everyone thought it was being discontinued, and I guess for a time it maybe was. But now they will still have it at the distillery for sure at High West. And are they going to be shipping it to stores as well, or is it just in distillery?
From what I understand, it's just going to be in-state distribution, and I'm assuming at their gift shop too.
Yeah. Yeah. which would be, I mean, that's a really solid pour.
Yep.
I really like that.
Our friends Jason and Natalie told me that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Hit me up. Hey, you need to get closer to your camera, Will. You're a little soft.
Well, it's because my battery died a second ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you look great.
Thank you. Am I close enough?
That's
not the first time someone's told me I look a little soft.
Me and you both, brother.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's an obvious winner of whatever this casual Friday, two for Tuesday situation.
It's called Armchair Master Distiller.
Grease killed it.
That's what it's called.
I did not kill it. I didn't know all the rules.
It by starting off dumb.
Okay,
so
I didn't know that was dumb. In my head, that felt right.
Well, I sent you the instructions, so
right.
Words are hard.
Okay, Matt. To go back on your great idea about the baseball card thing, here's how you could get away with that. In states that allow scratch off lottery, you could go in to the distillery and buy a scratch off lottery ticket, but it's like Buffalo Trace ticket, Four Roses ticket, Heaven Hill ticket, and it's $1. And you scratch and you get that bottle if you want that bottle.
I think at that point you're literally dealing with two different regulatory agencies, those that regulate the gambling in state and those that regulate the liquor in state. And then you're never going to get it because it's going to be taxed so high that no one's ever going to be able to drink it or purchase it.
Yeah. I mean, can't you just tax the $1? Like they pay $1 and they scratch it off. And if it says benchmark, then I'm like, okay, you have the this is your ticket to get a bottle of benchmark if you want it. And they're like, no, which benchmark's fine. You and I've crushed benchmark many a nights.
I like benchmark when necessary.
Yeah, they even have like it's even like a real word. It's not even like a fake word. It's like you know how like you can use the word benchmark in like a normal sentence
casually, right?
Right.
Go over to the benchmark like that.
Yeah.
Mark that bench up.
Come sit next to me on the bench, Mark.
Exactly.
That one. Yep. All right, you guys want to go to the 15?
I do. So I'm in a weird situation for the 15, and this I'm fine with it. I'm completely cool with it. I forgot to bring a glass down. I've been looking this whole time. If you've seen me just casually just keep staring back here because I'm trying to find a glass. So I'm gonna have to pour it. I'm gonna have to pour it in here because I don't want.
That's on brand. That's on brand.
I'll
allow it.
Okay. The first rule of decanting is don't tell yourself decant. Tell yourself decan.
Mm-hmm.
And that, my friend, is exactly what you're up to.
Okay, so Matt, this is your first time ever on the podcast.
Wait, we got to go to the 15, right?
I know. I was just gonna say, like, he needs to say, let's do this.
Oh, I like it.
So you can say whatever you want. You have the floor. You can say whatever you want, and then you just say, let's do this, and then we'll hit the music, and then we won't really, but then we will later, and then we come back.
Oh, so I'm cutting to the 15.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, all right, folks, let's go to the 15, and then you get to say whatever our send off is into the ether. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to go. All right, folks, let's go to the 15.
That makes a lot of sense. And I would just like to say that we're about to go to the 15. If it takes a little bit longer, it's because Will didn't pack up his stuff and get out soon enough. New co-host back in 15.
Let's do this.
No, you said he could say whatever he wanted to. I thought he did very well. But
they're just going to end with "Let's do this."
I'm confused.
You need
was I fired?
Yeah,
was I fired?
Technically, he likes to fire everybody.
That's fine.
He fires the junkies. He fires us.
Wait a minute. So I thought "Let's do this" was your thing.
He was he wanted to make himself feel cool by you being like sort of like him for a minute. No, he does it. It's
typically
often
what we say when we go to the 15. It just happens to be me every time because I'm your co-host, dadgummit.
All right, we're gonna saunter on back from the 15 and let's do this like that. I don't know.
I think that may just be the cold open this week.
Like terrible grease.
Have you ever had that, Matt?
Oh,
grease.
Oh my goodness.
You did this.
It's the gland.
You did that on the live.
I don't care. It's sitting right here. I saw it again. And if I see it, I'm going to pick it up.
All right. So, folks, what we're doing now, for those of you that are new, this is the 15. This is our review portion of the show. We pour up our whiskey and we nose it and we drink it. And then we come back from the 15. We talk about it. The original concept was that we would actually stop down for 15 minutes to get acquainted with the whiskey. And I don't think we have done that a single time. Actually, in reality, stop down for 15 minutes. So we're about to come back from the 15 if everyone's ready and Grease is done chugging out of that train car. Why do you think it's about to be a train wreck?
Clever.
All right. Are you ready? Is everyone ready?
I'm ready. Hey, I don't have it poured.
Oh, neither.
We at least like to act like we've poured it up during the 15. I think my battery's going to die again.
Did you plug it in?
No, I left my plug at my office today when I did that live thing.
Do you have an extra battery?
Yeah, they're on the charger though. They were all dead. It's called planning. It's called planning.
America.
They're charging though, so I'll hot swap it out in a second. I just maybe disappeared for a minute.
This is a great vessel to sniff.
All right. Oh, wait, you got to say that when we're in the show.
Okay.
All right. And hey, Matt, do you want to take Grease's other line that some say we never left? That's one that sometimes is said.
We actually kind of left this time.
All right. And we're back from the 15.
Some say we never left.
You're hired.
That was so defeated.
Yeah, no, that was beautiful. It was
I said that with energy.
A effort, C- delivery.
All right, folks, we are drinking Kentucky Owl Batch 10 for the 15 this week. We've all got it poured up. We've got it in our glass. Grease is drinking out of a decanter that he poured an ounce-ish in. How's that nose on that, Grease?
This vessel right here is really good to sniff out of. I'm getting a slight bit of dust, and I'm not talking about like dusty. It's just a little bit of dust. I think I did not wash it out. And it's been without the top for a while, but this feels pretty good.
So you're getting some shelf aging to it.
I'm getting some cinnamon on this.
What kind of glass do you have there, Matt? Tell the folks.
Wait.
Hold, please.
Okay. I think he's farting.
He said, "Keep talking." He had to mute it. There we go.
No, we're good. We're totally good. This is I get asked about this glass more than anything. It's a Visky Scotch tasting glass. It's super heavy. Like the bottom is really heavy. It swirls like a glass has never swirled before. Sound barrier in 3, 2, 1. Did you feel that?
Yeah, just like that.
Crazy. It swirls so fast.
Okay, I thought that was pee for a second, but yeah, I guess that was sound barrier stuff.
Yeah. These are fun glasses. They're good.
No, that was pee. I got very excited about that glass. It's very good. Yeah. I mean, this is Kentucky Owl, freaking bourbon.
It's what's the proof on it?
Oh, that's a great one. So this is batch 10. This is 120.2 proof. 60.1 for those that are bad at math. Over 14,000 bottles, which if we learned anything from Dixon, there might have been like 15,000.
From when he talked about sometimes there's missing bottles with labels. They print more labels than.
Oh, right.
If he messes it up,
it could be like 12,000.
Yeah, right. It's technically under,
right?
Not more.
Or it could be like, or he could have just shaved like 50 bottles off the top for himself too.
But he would still probably label them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't drive a car and drink this. So,
Okay, what's the proof? That's what I want to know. You're going to do your bet?
120.2. I said 120.2. Yeah.
That's good proof.
Good.
The nose is a little bit feels a little bit higher than that to me.
So it is actually it looks like the last 3 years as I'm looking at them, because I've got
lower
9,
of
8,
the three.
7. Yeah, it's lower. Yeah, from what I'm seeing over here. I mean, outside of confiscated, obviously. But yeah, I can't see them all. But last 3. It's the lowest.
Thoughts? What are we getting on the palate, on the nose? Anything of note? If not,
it's like a blueberry cigar. It's like a blueberry powered, delicious Alec Bradley cigar.
Okay.
Plastic tip or wooden tip?
Well, what?
On the cigar, I mean, we're not talking like hand-rolled cigars.
No, I mean, we're talking about cigars. We're not talking about black and milds.
That's what I'm talking about.
I wasn't.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Okay, well, then it's not.
Okay.
But it could be. If they made Oh, you mean an actual blueberry cigar. Like, they probably make those.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a legit cigar that you just put some blueberry leaf in. Will's gone again.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah, he's still there. I'm
a ghost the most.
I get your cigar. I'm not getting the blueberry. I'm getting more like a pear, like a more lighter, refreshing fruit.
Okay.
Blueberries, it's too much work. You don't know if they're going to be bitter or what.
Think of a cold blueberry. How about that? Right out of the fridge.
Right out of the fridge. You don't freeze them like grapes? Have you ever frozen grapes?
Choking hazards.
Okay. Are you still worried about that?
Yeah. I almost died last year on a crumb of pizza. So I don't mess around with frozen grapes. No way.
Whoa. On a what pizza?
Just a little fleck. Just a piece of pizza went down the old. And I went like, it was bad. So no frozen grapes for this guy.
Did somebody legit have to do like the Heimlich?
No, just myself. It wasn't that bad.
You went rogue on a chair like you're supposed to do? Like jumping on the.
I coughed twice. I'm over dramatic. You'll learn that about me.
Okay, so they weren't, because if you cough, then you have your airways not completely blocked.
Okay. So sorry.
But yeah, he's right. You shouldn't. You probably shouldn't freeze grapes, Grease, especially with children in the house.
So my buddy Dustin Pete, we were hanging out on our Patreon virtual barn night last night, and we came up with what's the killing it shot note, essentially, because you know how I'll do killing it with Grease. You know how you get a different tasting note when you just get a big old mouthful of whiskey and then just gulp it down? Because I do that with Old Granddad 114. Like I get chocolate all day long when I take a big old swig and gulp of Old Granddad 114. And this, yeah, I don't know. It's. I mean, on this note, I just got caramel, which is kind of typical, but you know.
I love that Barn Door just said all this time I've been using a decanter wrong, which is not wrong. I mean, that he's not wrong saying he's been doing it wrong, because Grease is doing it right.
Yeah, like cigar caramel pear is what I like. Like those are the 3 notes I'm getting on this.
I definitely get the tobacco note that y'all are getting. It's obviously it's a blend of Lord knows what, but there's definitely some age in these barrels that he used. It's got some good spice to it as well that I'm really enjoying.
It's a curvy road. It twists and turns a little bit. It kind of peaks and then kind of goes back down, and then right when you're expecting it to go away, it flares back up on the back end. That's when that spice really kicks in. So you get the sweet caramels and like the brown sugars and stuff up front, spice on the back. There's I get a little bit of like a peanut brittle in there at some point too. The kind of, it's not like, hey, I'm peanut brittle. It's more like guy in the back, like,
yeah, like peanut brittle dust.
Yeah. The guy in the back of the line.
Yeah. I mean, the peanut brittle without the peanut, like the peanut always just like takes over the flavor for me in peanut brittle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I totally get it. Like if you get a piece of that without the peanut in it,
he's just like sugar. It's what he's saying. Man, the peanut part of the peanut brittle.
No, it overtakes it. You still get an essence in peanut brittle. You still get an essence of the peanut in the brittle part, but you just you don't have to get the peanut.
All right, so now we get to the best part, or the most nuanced part of the show, maybe I should say, and that is the Buy Bar Pass rating. If you're new to the show, we have a rating system. We've been doing it for years called Buy Bar Pass. Buy means that this is 100%, no questions asked. Go buy a bottle of this. Bar is it's really good, may not be for everyone, or it may be really pricey and we don't know if the flavor matches up with the price tag, or it may just be a curious item. That's a bar. Go try it. Don't spend the entire price, but try to find a way to have a pour of it before you decide to try before you buy. And then there's Pass, which is just like there's no value to this. It could be something that's like $1,000, but it's 2-year-old whiskey. It's like there's no way you should ever even remotely think I want to try this. So Pass and then we also have Borrow, which we added to it.
Right. During the pandemic, it's kind of you got to go Borrow. You can't really go bar.
Well, Borrow is a little bit more. It's a little bit under Bar. Bar is like still spend some money on it, but Borrow is like find a friend that has it and give it a shot. So
like a legit shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, price tag on this is another, it's $2.99, right?
Yeah.
For the MSRP on this. I've seen people post online it as low as $250. But also I've seen it as high as like $400. So, $2.99 is what we go with. We go to the MSRP. But sometimes if you're lucky, you can probably find it a little bit under that. And we always take that into account. With the Buy Bar Pass rating. So, Matt, do you want to go first, or do you want us to go first, since it's a rating and don't want to put you out on a limb there, so you can like couch your answer, or what do you want to do?
I'll go first. I don't give a crap. So I mean, it's $300. So right. Not everybody can go spend $300, and you can't just say buy at that price, because there's not a lot of people out there who are just willing to throw around $300 on a bottle.
Right.
If you are the type of person who buys a bottle at a price at $300, and it's like no sweat. Like that's the kind of thing that you do. That's the type of collection you have. It's a buy.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody who is a collector and like wants to have a really special bottle that's going to sit there and it's going to be there for a long time, spending $300 is a ton of money. And it's not something you're just going to do. It's definitely a bar to make sure that you enjoy that. And it's to the level that you want it to be for a purchase of that magnitude. That being said, I love it. I bought it at retail. It's one of my favorite bottles. It continues to get better as the level goes down. Man, if you're a scientist and you say air doesn't help a bottle, then your science is bad. I'm the world's top whiskey taster. I wear the crown. My science is good. And my science is air helps. And air has helped this bottle a lot. I love it. And I don't know. I'd buy it again.
Grease, you want to give your 2 cents?
Yeah, I mean, it costs more than 2 cents, but sure. I'm actually going to lean Borrow on this one, because if your buddy owns this bottle, he knows what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you have the coin to throw down $300 for a bottle, and it's Kentucky Owl, like these things don't hit secondary value crazy until, you're 5 years down the road. You know what I mean? It's just, it's actually like just really good whiskey. And so if a person buys that, they like really good whiskey and they're cool with paying $300 for it. So I would borrow it, because the guy that I would borrow it, or the lady that I would borrow it from, they know what's up and they bought that bottle to share it. And that's exactly why I buy it. That's exactly why. Like I'm excited to pour this. Now, we're huge fans of Dixon Deadman as a person, as a blender. I mean, everything he touches is gold. He does it well, everything. So we love him and we love to support him. Outside of that, I would lean buy in that situation just because we're buddies, and I do buy them. But I think the general public, this leans more towards the borrow realm. And honestly, have you guys ever seen Kentucky Owl bourbon or rye in a bar? Like I don't recall seeing it. The bourbon?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yes. I mean, I guess in the really big, like, there's that one spot that you go to down in Birmingham that's really big, and then there's
there's a lot of bars here that have it.
Yeah, I actually don't go to a lot of bars, honestly, and I haven't.
I'm just saying that to the point of there is wide distribution, and there are definitely, if you wanted to go have it at a bar, there are places you could go have it at a bar. It's not like it's impossible to find. You can go to a place that prides himself on their whiskey list, and they will probably have it at some point within the year. It may get.
I do remember seeing Confiscated at a couple of places here around Nashville, but I'm not that high class, Will. So, I don't go to where you go.
What I would say is very similar to what you guys said. I love what Matt said. Like if you buy pricey, luxury, high-end bottles of whiskey, but you still are discerning about it, like it's not just I'm buying it because of the price tag, but if you buy whiskey, like I want it to be good, but I'll spend whatever on it, then it's a no-brainer buy. Like the quality matches the price tag. I think that's a very easy thing to say about this bottle. But I do have to say, if you're in the second category where it's like, I will spend money on a high-end bottle that has meaning to it, or if I know I'm going to really like it. And because we have a connection with Dixon, because we really like Dixon, we know the quality he's putting out. I'm a buy because that's already been proven for me. But I feel like for most people that have to, which is the majority of the whiskey community, I would say, if you're thinking like, is this where my $300 big splurge bottle is going to go? I think you should probably try it first, try to get it at a bar, try to get it from a friend to see if it's the angle you want to go, because it is a big, bold flavor. And sometimes big, bold flavors cannot be the big, bold flavor you like. Like the same thing happens a lot of times with George T. Stagg, which is MSRP a third of this price. But a lot of times some people are like, man, this year of George T. Stagg, it just wasn't for me. It's because it's big, it's bold, it's an uncut whiskey. There's an aggressiveness to it. There's a rawness to it, which is what makes it so good. But that's also what could be, if you're not going to appreciate it and then feel like buyer's remorse that you spent $300 on it, you should probably try it first. And like, it has our stamp of approval on it, but see if you like it for yourself before you're just like Will and Grease and Matt said, I gotta have it, so I'm gonna go spend $300.
I mean, all the Kentucky Owl stuff that we've had, as soon as it hits your palate, you're like, this is oily, thick. Like you're already impressed just by the mouthfeel alone, which is I love. I lean towards like mouthfeel telling me a lot about a whiskey really early on. But
100%.
Agreed.
I like that we're all on the same page with this. I was expecting Grease to be a pass because he and Dixon do not get along historically. There's a lot of strife there that we're having to work through. I've spent many a late night talking both of them out of their corners.
Just because I swore I saw a goat on the Beaumont Inn property, and he's like, "You saw no goat, Grease."
That's accurate.
Like that doesn't mean we're not, aligned.
Grease has this. I need to give everyone some context for once and for all. Grease has many times referenced a goat at the Beaumont Inn.
Yeah, I saw it.
And he thinks everyone knows what he's talking about. It was a very specific moment at Whiskey Weekend Batch 2 which had about 50 people there. But he talks about it as if the world was there in that moment and everyone knows. Like when we had Dixon on, he's like, I'm going to talk about the goat. I go, Grease, no one knows what you're talking about.
No, because I want him to look me in the face and tell me there wasn't a daggum goat on his property.
Which will just be a confusing moment where no one's like, where's the goat? Well, 50 people will be like, this is a unique moment in time. But it's like Grease always brings up the goat, and I love it because I look down at Matt's face and he's like, the goat.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Tom Brady. I'm talking like it's a legit goat. What do you mean people won't understand what a legit goat is?
I thought he was talking about Dixon. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about the goat, but
the greatest of all time. Right. Yeah. There is a goat on that property, but it doesn't go by.
I don't know how we.
You ever try forced a beer pong table? All right, folks, this has been a blast. Matt, thank you so much for coming on. Everyone that's on here, thank you to all your patrons as well. I know that you sent them the link and said, go watch this or I'll delist you. I'll cancel you from my Patreon. But I want to thank all of them. I've been seeing them in the chat. It's been really kind that you guys came over. If you're not subscribed to our channel and you had fun tonight, go ahead and give us a subscribe. We'd appreciate it. If you're over here with us and you're unfamiliar with Matt, make sure to go to ADHD Whiskey on YouTube and subscribe to his channel. It's a lot of fun. We've had fun getting to know you, Matt, and I know that's going to continue. We're going to do a lot more ahead. And did we ever get an answer about if we'll be hanging out with you in a few weeks?
My wife signed her newest contract for travel nursing today. I read the contract thoroughly. Basically a lawyer. On that contract, there were dates that said requested vacation, whiskey weekend approved.
Wait. So wait, you have to. Oh, because she needs to stay home with the kids.
Yeah. Otherwise, they would run rampant.
Rampant? I love it. It took Grease a minute. I liked your mic drop moment that you were saying you're coming, and I don't want to take that away from you, but Grease did kind of take it away from you. So,
well, I'm freaking excited.
I'm excited too. So Matt's going to be at Whiskey Weekend. We're really excited about hanging out with you there in person, in the flesh, and making some memories, telling some lies, as Dixon likes to say, and drinking some whiskey. Matt, anything else you want to say before you skedaddle on out of here?
Thank you so much, guys. This is honestly, maybe like one of the bucket list things, like in the whiskey world, be on an episode of the podcast, crossing it off. And now the next one on the list is take Will's job. #fire Will.
Well, that's fair. I think you could probably do it pretty easily. Y'all have fun editing the Grease. Enjoy that. Thrasher wants to know the dates of Whiskey Weekend. It is April 22nd
through the 25th.
22nd through the 25th.
If you go to whiskeytainment, all one word, .com, whiskeytainment.com, that's our splash page for Whiskey Weekend. You can read all about it. Matt's going to be there. It's Bourbon Night's going to be there. BS and Bourbon's going to be there. Dixon's going to be there. Jack Daniels, Buffalo Trace, one other. I haven't confirmed yet.
Other surprises will be there.
Other surprises.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
But yeah, it's essentially. Go ahead.
Is Hardy's going to be there again?
Oh, dadgummit, that's a great idea, Matt. I have not thought about that.
I'm sure.
Circle back.
I think the Galt House won't let us bring outside catering. So
allegedly.
So
hey, you know what? The best thing ever would be like getting into an argument with them over whether or not Hardy's qualifies as catering.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we could listen. We Uber eated 300 breakfast biscuits.
Yeah.
Like, don't at me, Galt House. Okay. Daggum. We're fine over here. Sausage and cheese, bacon and cheese, freaking fried pork tenderloin and gravy and cheese and egg. Golly, that's a combination that'll just set you on fire. Anyway, no, Whiskey Weekend is essentially a summer camp for adults that love whiskey. Come and hang out with us, whiskeytainment.com, to read all the information. We're on our 3rd year of doing it, and we're very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for this week on the podcast. We don't know Jack,
but we'll drink it. Wait, Matt, do you want to say that?
Fire Will? Oh, no, the other one. They don't know whiskey. No, that's not right. They don't. There was Jack, and then there was Will.
Yeah.
One got fired.
Yeah, Will's gone.
Jack and Jim walked into a bar. Will didn't walk out alive.
They don't know Jack, but they'll drink it.
Right. Because we don't know anything.
So I'll do it too, just to fit in. Peer pressure.
All right, folks, that was super fun. Matt, thank you so much. Had a blast. That's it.
Thank you guys so much. You're the best.
Now we saunter. Are you gonna? I gotta hit it off, don't I?
I think we're still alive. This is awkward.
Yeah, because I didn't have the the thing ready.
Oh, this is where I think my camera's gonna die again.
Is it? Oh,
yep.
Wait. Oh, hang on. You want me to just play I'm gonna play the open again like I did.
Don't do that.
That was cool. Nobody saw it. Y'all are waiting around to see what I would do. I kicked those other two guys out. Let's start drinking. I'm just kidding. I can't. Will get on to me. I love y'all. Bye.